of these football teams, it's always going to be a scapegoat. It ain't never going to be Josh Allen with the type talent that he has, so it had to be Dorsey, be the scapegoat. But it is Josh Allen's fault. You touch the football every single play. Since you have came into the National Football League, you have turned the football over more than any quarterback. So basically, this is Josh Allen getting Dorsey fired. Some of these throws that he's throwing, I don't care who's calling the plays. These are repeated mistakes. I understand you got a strong arm. I understand you're a talented quarterback, but at one point, you have to get consistent and you have to throw the football in places to where these receivers can only get it. He's turning the ball over way too much, you know, and now it just looks like Josh Allen, if we keeping it a buck, it looks like he's taking a step back. 6 straight games with an interception.
Yikes.
If that was any other quarterback, and I ain't gonna bring his name up, Shady would have murdered him on this day. You know what I'm saying? Ceiling or not.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Josh, you have the ball in your hand every single play, and Josh is not delivering. He is not playing at an elite quarterback level, even though he has elite quarterback talent.
See, in this segment, Shady McCoy is about to show the biggest issue with Speak for Yourself and other shows like it, Colin Cowherd and all these other folks that let their emotions drive their takes on these shows, whereas you're supposed to be speaking from a knowledgeable place as it pertains to the game of football. Shady McCoy not only lets his emotions drive him to the point of blaming other players and other entities for the issues that he would go crazy on Dak Prescott about, which is what James Jones is alluding to here. But he also lets his emotions drive him to the point to where he goes and disrespects one of his own co-hosts just to prove a point, or just so he wouldn't have to address the bigger point in all of this, and that's the fact that Shady McCoy is extremely inconsistent, especially when it has anything to do with any of his former teams or some of the players that he may like on a personal level. Take a look at this as he goes out of his way to dismiss and honestly disrespect James Jones. And what he did to James Jones in this segment is just short of what Skip Bayless did to Shannon Sharp, which eventually made them fall out as well.
Let's not forget how Bro was before Josh Allen. But before Josh Allen, nobody was speaking on that. I thought top 5, top
balling.
Slow down for a second. Top 5?
Bruh, the man.
You gonna tell me? I don't ask about the man. I'm asking you, was he
as a football player?
He was with the Vikings. You tell me he's top 5.
He was going to work with the Vikings.
Right.
Never made a Pro Bowl or All Pro.
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm just trying to just bleep that out for a second. Anyway.
Now, clearly, this wasn't as bad as Skip Bayless essentially dismissing Shannon Sharp's entire career resume in favor of him trying to be a fanboy for Tom Brady, but it's coming close, and Shady McCoy is trending in that direction. And what we have seen with Skip Bayless and Undisputed and the fall of one of the most talked about debate shows is people are moving away from that form of entertainment. People are moving away from that form of analysis. People can get entertainment from content creators. They can get it from their influencers. They can get it from Twitter or X. They can get it from anywhere now. They don't have to go and rely on these shows, which the only reason people are watching these shows in the first place, and that's why I think ESPN and FS1 is forgetting. The only reason people watch your platforms is because you're supposed to have people up there that are experts in what they're discussing, meaning they're going to be giving insights on whatever sport they're discussing that the casual fan can't possibly have or may not understand. They're going to be having a different level of access than what the casual fan would have. That's the whole reason that people even watch these shows, is because they're trying to get insight on a deeper level that they wouldn't be able to get as just a casual fan. That's the point of this stuff. And what we're starting to see are these emotion-driven talking heads that are up here trying to make themselves more of the story than what the players are on the actual field. This is when you get the Stephen A. Smiths walking up and wearing cowboy hats. This is when you get the Lesean McCoys wanting to over-exaggerate and over-fantasize his favorite players, and then over-criticize and over-dramatize the downfalls of his least favorite players. This is when you get those types of takes, and these types of shows spawning is when you're having the analysts or the entertainer or whatever you want to call them trying to make themselves the bigger story than what the audience actually came to see, which is information about the sport that they enjoy watching. They're not tuning in to see the Shady McCoy Buddy Buddy show with Josh Allen. They're not tuning in to see the Shady McCoy brotherly love, tush push, finger up the butt love fest with Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not tuning in for that. And if you look at the numbers, which we're about to do speak, and now I see why y'all are going to the links that y'all are to try to make yourselves so relevant with some of the takes and things that you're saying, is because the numbers are speaking for themselves right now. Now, as I was saying, the people don't want to see this super emotion-driven analysis. We're only going to look at FS1 because Speak isn't even in the discussion as it pertains to just overall national TV programs. They're literally in the 500s as it pertains to where they rank currently in national television programming as far as viewership goes. So they're not even in discussion there. So let's just look at FS1, where they're currently the number 14th ranked show on just that network, guys. Their average audience size of people that's actually watching that program. And remember, a lot of the audience sizes that you see for any of the ESPN or FS1 programs, a lot of the times you will have bars, the Hooters, the Buffalo Wild Wings, the sports bars, the places like that. You'll have these places have these certain channels on always. That's just what the default is for these certain establishments. So some of these numbers are even getting helped by that factor. And trust me, that is a real thing, just static viewership just from sports bars and just different bars and dives and dine-ins and stuff like that. Those type of places, they'll have these channels just on. So it's not like people are actually really tuning into it. Sometimes this stuff just happens to be on at an airport or whatever it may be. If you travel or if you go anywhere, you've seen this before for sure. But they're struggling to average more than 125,000 odd people on any given program, and their viewership has been sinking lower and lower and lower. 100,000 people in the TV slot that they have is absolutely terrible. This is the same TV slot that you would see with like Around the Horn and PTI and stuff like that on ESPN or NFL Lives and stuff like that. It's the same TV slot, and you only have 100,000 people watching your program, good enough to rank number 14 on your own channel, only pulling an average of 108,000 people in viewership with a 20% drop off in year-over-year average. You guys are trending in the wrong direction, and it's because you have people like Lesean McCoy coming on this program being overly emotional. And then you have Joy Taylor struggling to disagree with him in any situation, so much so to the point to where it was almost like she was pulling teeth and constantly trying to keep eye contact with Shady McCoy throughout this whole segment, as if to say, please don't be upset with me, but I'm about to have to disagree with you because we can't sit up here and say Josh Allen ain't the issue, because he clearly is the issue. People don't want to see it, and the numbers are showing that. You are behind every other talk show program, essentially. You're behind Undisputed, which is sad, especially considering Undisputed's current state. You're behind The Herd with Colin Cowherd. You're behind First Things First. You're behind every other talk show on your own network. You are in last place right now. You would think you would be a little bit more careful as to not to make yourself an industry pariah to where people don't want to work with you. This is what's going to happen if you think it's okay to disrespect your own co-host in favor of trying to cape up for a player. This is what's going to happen if you continue to go down that Skip Bayless route, which is exactly where you're going with it, especially since you're going out your way to try to degrade what Stephon Diggs was before he got traded to the Bills. You forget the Vikings had a prime Adam Thielen, prime Dalvin Cook, and all these guys. They had weapons all over the field when Stephon Diggs was there. So, of course, his numbers weren't going to be crazy out the woodworks. But guess what? He still had 2,000-yard seasons before he went to the Bills. He still had a 100 reception season before he went to the Bills. He still was worth a first-round pick getting traded to the Bills. So guess what? Stephon Diggs was highly regarded as a receiver in NFL already before going into the Bills. And when he got there, of course his statistics were going to take a jump because they had nothing. They had you the year before, which was honestly the start of the end of your career when you essentially became a career bench warmer. And besides that, they had nothing else there. So Stephon Diggs got all the targets. He made Josh Allen instantly look a lot more competent as a quarterback than what he did before. That is 100% facts. You can see that the first year he got to the Bills, he got 127 receptions. He was targeted on almost every down, it seems like, bro. So of course, that's going to be one of the best seasons he has of his career. And of course, Josh Allen's going to look a lot better because he has a talented receiver out there to help him look better. But you're going out of your way to avoid giving Josh Allen criticism to the point to where you're trying to bring everyone else down. You're disrespecting your own co-host, trying to dismiss his take or what he's saying and try to completely discredit it with just a simple swipe of the hand. And quite honestly, you're just continuously killing the credibility of Speak For Yourself. And there's no need to guess why Speak For Yourself is currently in the state that it is. If you take a look at the ratings on this show, a lot of the comments have negative feedback as it pertains to Shady McCoy. See this one, awful show. I like Mr. Jones, the rest are horrible. I never miss Speak For Yourself. I'd rather play Scrabble on my phone. This show is terrible. It's so hard to watch. Not sure which is worse, Shady and his terrible football IQ, or Joy, who only reads numbers and agrees with everything Shady says. James Jones and Bucky Brooks are only bright spots for the show. Shady and Joy should not talk sports. And then someone agrees with that. Absolutely. I've been saying the same thing. See, this is what I'm saying. Shady is absolutely terrible. Everyone's saying the same thing, Shady. Everyone's saying the same thing. So here's the thing. You can't be the shock jock analyst without backing it up with the results, without backing it up with the numbers. Then at that point, you're just a stock drop analyst. Meaning you're dropping the stock of Speak For Yourself to the point to where pretty soon, y'all gonna be having to be employed for yourself. But either way, y'all know always in these videos, how about them Cowboys? See you in the next one. Take it away, Pastor.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy, shut up.